How's it going, guys? Dustin here, and I figured I'd make a quick guide on how to properly set up to battle. Really easy step-to-step guide on how to set up your tabs, where to put your tabs, to make things easier for people who are probably new to the game and want to figure out how people are so much better than them. Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is scratch Google Chrome. Scratch Firefox, scratch Google Chrome, scratch all that shit. Opera is the leading web browser to play this game in. Without Opera, you will probably fail when it comes to beating up most people. So, what you want to do here is, once you have Opera downloaded, you want to create a bunch of tabs, because we're going to set these tabs up and have them preset. So what you want to do is, once you sign in, you're going to have one tab here. Now some people will realize this, they'll just try to add another tab and then go from there, but we're not going to do that, because the easier way to do that is simple. You're going to want to right click your tab, hover down to duplicate tab, and click it. You're going to want to do this a few times. I would say probably that many times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs. 8 tabs is what you're going to want to start with. As a new player, you're going to be going in blind. When you fight for hose or battle somebody, you're going to be blind, but this is the easiest way without you getting confused as to what your tabs do and where they go. So the first thing you want to do is you want to set this tab to attack pimp. Okay? Then you're going to want to click on home invade. Then you're going to want to type the pimp's ID in. Say the pimp's ID is number 1. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to preset that to attack. And then from there, you're going to look up the pimp you're trying to attack. Click on Crackulate to figure out how much crack to send him. And the normal amount to send to somebody to most of the time succeed, as long as they're not on cash, is 1/4 of the crack that they have on them. You're going to want to divide that by 4 to get the number. So this person's crack is 2,250. You're going to want to, you can do quick math if you want, or you're going to want to take out the calculator. But a lot of times you'll have time to prepare for this fight. So you're just going to want to divide that by 4. So okay, 562 is what I want to send to him. So the next tab, you're going to want to go back here, click on Steel Horse, preset 562 crack to send, put his number in, and then hit enter. Alright, so we got the first 2 tabs set up. One's a home invade that's a preset. Another one is a preset crack screen. What I like to do, and what I did for a long time, is the next tab over. Whoa, it's lagging here pretty good. Sorry, I just wanted to check to see what was going on here. So the next tab over, you're going to want to click on Item Art. And depending on how many hoes you're fighting for, is how big you want to go for sell-ups. So what I do is 1-to-1. So say you have 100k hoes, and the person you're fighting has 100k hoes. Well, you're going to want to make your sell-ups for 100k. So you're going to want to buy 100k thugs. Well, the easiest way to buy thugs right off the bat without using turns is to sell AK-47s. Stocking AK-47s is extremely important. So you're going to want to figure out how many AKs do you need to sell to buy 100,000 thugs. Rule of thumb is 300,000 AKs is 100,000 thugs, or 102,000 thugs. So I'll sell 300,000 AKs. I'll times that by the amount of cash that is the sell for, and I come up with this number, 255 million. So okay, I'll take 255 million, and it costs 2,500 per thug. So I'll divide that by 2,500 equals 102,000. So then you'll put in here 300,000, and then you'll hit enter. Now that is preset. So in order to preset the next tab for buy thugs, you're going to want to do the same thing. Just type in 102, 123. That's 102,000 thugs. Hit enter. Okay? Now you're set up so when you're fighting, you'll be able to sell AKs and buy thugs right next to your attack screens that are preset. So the following screen is for crack. Oftentimes when battling for hoes, most new players make the mistake of not having a screen preset to buy crack. Well, when you're fighting for 100k hoes, usually people will fight at like 4 million crack. So they'll have 4 million crack, so that means you'll need to send them 1 million crack. So the best way to do this will all be based on how you feel, but for me, I like to get my sell first, because I have a sell here first and then a buy. So then I'll have a sell here and a buy here for crack. So I'll have a preset to sell 50,000 AKs. Well, 50,000 AKs times the number 850 equals that. Alright, then next preset will be to buy crack. So you're just going to want to divide that number by 10, and that is how many crack rocks that buys. So we'll hit enter on this, so that's preset, and then we'll go to the item art, and we'll preset crack here. But you got to make sure that there's no, whatever those are called, in there. There can't be any spaces or anything like that in there, so you want to get rid of those, and then just hit enter. Now I got my crack presets set up. Okay, so we got our presets here. The next thing we're going to want to preset for is having a preset to spend money that you might potentially home invade and gank off another pimp is super, super important. Okay, so when you're battling for hoes like that, they're probably going to be set up to sell the same amount, 255 million. So what you want to do in there is just type in 10k, buy 10k AKs, and then if you gank some, you can just click on this tab and then spam the F5 button to buy. And the last tab is just for really seeing where you're at in the rankings and where your opponent might be at. Now when you're fighting, you're going to be going blind. When you're doing all this movement and clicking on these tabs, you're not going to have enough time to click over here. And the advanced players usually have a screen like this on a 1-second refresh visible on their main screen, but we'll get into that later in another video to make things, once you master this setup and you want to get better, then we'll go over a more veteran style of setup screens. So for now, just remember how this tab layout is. These two are attack. This is a preset for home invade. This is a preset to send crack. This is a preset to sell AKs. This is a preset to buy thugs with the money that you get from selling the AKs. This one's a preset to sell AKs. This one's a preset to buy crack with those AKs. And this is a preset to spend any extra money that you might have on you so somebody doesn't rape your ass with drive-bys while you're on cash. Drive-bys they kill thugs when you have rides, like a home invasion does, but they don't steal any money. So again, this comes down to a more advanced style of gameplay, and I will get into that in another video. But for now, this setup will work just fine. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to practice going through the cycles. So pick your target, type his number in, calculate him, figure out his crack, preset all these, and then you're ready for the fight. So what you'll do is you'll spam home invade, and then if you think you're low, you'll you'll sell AKs. Click on this tab to sell AKs. Hit F5. Click on this tab to buy thugs. Now, this game works a little differently than most games. Most games are live, meaning this screen that you see right now is always refreshing. But in reality, if you don't hit F5 to refresh this screen, you'll never see what's going on. So this game works by refreshing. So if you don't hit F5 to refresh the screen, then you'll never see anybody moving, and you'll never know where they're at. So you always want to have one finger on your F5, and the other, your left hand will be on your F5 at all times, and your right hand will be switching tabs, clicking on a tab to refresh it. So you'll click here, you'll spam F5, spam F5, spam F5. Did you see it refresh up here? Then, once they're low, you'll send crack. Or if you believe they're low, you'll send crack. And if you are low, and you'll see that in the attack screen, like you attacked with X amount of thugs and lost X amount of thugs and killed X amount of thugs. Well, if you're low, you'll just click here, boom, click here, boom. And that's how, and you just bought 100k thugs instantly. Same thing with your crack. Say you're running low on crack. Another thing that's super important is always making sure your payout's on 100% when you're fighting for hose. Never ever make this mistake of having 1% payout and then your hose are unhappy and now your hose can be one-rocked. Always make sure your payout is on 100% when you're battling for hose. That is a must. So once you master clicking on each one of these, hitting F5, stealing some hose, and then thugging up, we'll get into the more veteran stuff. But once you've stolen all the hose, you're going to want to set your payout. You're going to want to make sure you got a bunch of crack on you. You'll just hit F5, F5, click on this, F5, F5. Then you'll click on this, double check to make sure you have enough crack so your hose are happy. Change your payout to 1% real quick. Then click on turn tricks and turn 100 turns, because that is the maximum amount of turns you can turn in a normal round. Once you click on this, you get a payout. And it'll say your hose made X amount of money. You never want to sit on a lot of money. You always want to spend your money quickly. So once you turn 100 turns and you want to buy thugs real quick, you can just click on the tab that you already have preset to buy thugs and just spam it. Just hit F5 a bunch of times till it says that you ran out of money. You know, oh, okay, well now I know I ran out of money and I'm good to go. So then I'll refresh this page and I see that I'm no longer sitting on a bunch of money anymore. So then we'll just spend the extra money on condoms, since they only cost 1, and that's it. That's the simplest, easiest way to battle for hose. And by working on this method, you'll become better a lot faster. So I hope this video helps, and I'll be going over a few other things in the future with other videos, like how to drop on a pimp, how to set up to drop, how to select targets, how to gank, things like that. And it'll make you better overall, and you'll end up getting better at how you play. And once you get better and have a general understanding, then you'll feel better about playing the game. Because when you first start, it's a lot more difficult to learn, because the skill gap between a good player and a new player is higher than any other game I've ever played, between strategy games and first-person shooters and MMORPGs and card games and you name. It's much like a card game in the sense, or chess, in the sense that the skill gap from a new player to a veteran is extremely high. But I hope this video helps, and I hope you stick around. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can always message me. A lot of the times, if you have any questions and you can't find me, you can always click on General and ask in forums. Say, hey, I need help. Hey, I need help. And then just ask your question here, submit it, and then I check forums regularly, and other people do as well, and we will help you. So I hope you enjoyed, and good luck, pimps. Peace.